will understand about renal stones. It is also known as urolithiasis or nephrolithiasis. It is about the renal calculi. Now, urine stones, they are mostly formed in the kidney. The origin of the stones is kidney, but the stones can get lodged anywhere in the urinary tract. Now, there are 3-4 areas where the urinary tract has natural constrictions. Okay, one is the pelvis of the kidney. Here also the stones they get lodged. Then there is a constriction in the ureter near the pelvic brim, and one is over the vesico-ureteral junction, that is bladder and the ureter where they meet. There also it can get lodged. So the origin is mostly in the kidney itself. Now, mostly men are affected more than women, and the age affected is around 20 to 30 years. Now, there are 4 main types of the calculi. In this lecture, we will understand what are the types of calculi, how do they look like, what is the etiology behind them. Okay, so 4 main type of the calculi. They are calcium stones, and then you have triple stones, uric acid stone, and cystine stone. Now, the stones which contain calcium inside, they will be radio opaque, and these stones will be detected in the X-ray. Okay, the stones which are uric acid stones or cystine stones, these are radiolucent stones. And then you have a stone which is also known as triple phosphate stone or struvite stone. Now, why it is known as triple phosphate stone? Because it contains 3 minerals along with the phosphate. It contains calcium, magnesium, and ammonium. It is known as triple phosphate stone. Now, going to why does stone form? Going to a basic concept of the chemistry is the solute solvent concept. Now, to make a solution, you have solute, you have solvent. Now, if the solute increases or solvent decreases, there will be crystallization in the solution. Okay, and crystallization, that here pertains to formation of stones. Now, here in your human body, if we have increase of calcium excretion, you have increase of uric acid excretion, that is increase in the solute. And if you have decreased solvent, that is patient is dehydrated, is passing less of urine, that will lead to crystallization, and that is formation of stones. So, for initiation and propagation of stones, we need to have increased urinary concentration of the stone constituents and low urine volume. Now, going to the first stone, that is calcium oxalate stone. That is the calcium stone, most common type of stone. This is caused by various reasons. One reason can be hypercalcemia. Okay, if a patient has hypercalcemia in the body due to hyperparathyroidism or any other disease, so there also the stone probability formation will be there. Then you have second, hypercalciuria without hypercalcemia. Patient does not have increased calcium in the blood, but he is excreting more and more of calcium in the urine. Now, this can be due to few reasons. The patient has absorptive hypercalciuria, that is from the intestine the patient is absorbing more. Then renal hypercalciuria, the patient is excreting more of calcium. And lastly, some idiopathic reasons can also appear. Whenever we are talking about renal stones, you must understand that the main cause behind renal stone is mostly idiopathic. It is not related to hypercalcemia, hyperuricemia. It is mostly mixture of many things, and many idiopathic reasons also play a role. Then for calcium stone, it is also seen that the patient secreting increased uric acid also can develop calcium oxalate stone. And oxaluria is also seen, hyperoxaluria in the patients, that again promotes calcium oxalate stones. Going to the morphology of the stone. Now, here you can see this is the gross morphology of the stone. You can see the stone has sharp edges, okay, is yellow in color, does have brown patches. Now, these brown patches are what they are. The brown patches are the injury which it has caused to the urinary tract. Now, there is injury, then there is excretion of the blood, and the blood converts into hemosiderin and deposits over the stone. So these are hemosiderin marks. on the stone. This is the gross picture of the stone. How does this stone looks in the urine? Okay, you can do urine examination to see the crystals. So you can see it is shape of a diamond shaped stone is there. This is the calcium oxalate stone. Now going to the second stone, that is magnesium ammonium phosphate stone, also known as triple phosphate stone. Now one thing to remember here is very important, that this stone is related to infections. Okay, because of infections by proteus or some staphylococcus, what happen is urea is excreted in the urine, it is converted into ammonia. Okay, now because urea is excreted in the body in large quantities, so whenever these stones form, they are much larger in size as compared to other stones. Also, one important thing plays a role in formation of stone, that is the pH of the urine. Okay, when we're talking about the pH of the urine, here the pH of urine should be alkaline. Ammonia is an alkaline thing. Okay, so pH is alkaline in these cases. Okay, for your calcium oxalate stone, for your triple phosphate stone, the pH is alkaline. pH is acidic where pH is acidic in uric acid stones. Okay, in uric acid stone, the pH is acidic. Now these form large stones because the amount of urea which is excreted is very high. This is also known as staghorn calculi. What is a staghorn? You have animal staghorn. So the stone resembles its horns. So if you see over here, this is the picture. You can see this is the stone. It has multiple horn like things. Okay, so it is known as staghorn. It is a classical example of triple phosphate stone. Why these stones are formed? If you have this is your kidney, it is forming in the renal pelvis. You have calyces, okay, in the kidney. So the stone forms and grows into the calyces and therefore has a typical staghorn appearance. Morphology, in their yellow, white or grey, they are soft and friable. It is staghorn is given the name when it takes the shape of your renal pelvis. When it takes the shape of the renal pelvis, it is given the staghorn stone. So staghorn stones, white stone, triple phosphate stone, they are all the same. So you can see a stone lodged over here. This is the white stone. Next stone is the uric acid stones. Uric acid stones are formed, uric acid is formed due to rapid cell turnover. So you have patient of gout. Okay, in patient of gout you have hyperuricemia. Secondly, if a patient has cancer, has rapid cell turnover, so turnover leads to protein, protein leads to uric acid. So uric acid is again seen in calcium, in cancer patient, in leukemia patient you can find uric acid stone. But one thing to remember again is that mostly the patient which have uric acid calculi, they do not have hyperuricemia, they do not have increased excretion of uric acid also in the urine. So there is very unexplained tendency why these patients form uric acid stone. It is seen that a pH below 5.5, that is the acidic pH in patients, it gives a predilection to form uric acid stones because uric acid is insoluble in acidic urine. So this you should remember, that acidic urine, so why it's important, but when we are treating a specific type of stone, we will try to change the pH of the urine so that the patient gets relieved from the stone. That is again a one of the medical treatment which can be used. Now these stones, these are radiolucent because they do not contain any calcium. Then morphology, how does they look like? They are very smooth stones. They are yellowish brown and cut section. They have a lamellated appearance. Okay, they have typical lamellations present. Okay, if you see over here, this is the cut section. You have lamellations like wood has a lamellation. It has a laminated structure. Then you have cystine stone. Now cystine stones, these are pathological stones. They are mostly found in cystinuria. Okay, patient have inborn error of metabolism, so there these can be formed, and again these are stones which are formed in acidic urine. Morphology, how they look like? They are small, round, smooth stones and they have a waxy cut section to it. Now it should be now known to you that stones can formed whenever there is increase in the concentration of the stone constituents. If there is change in the urinary pH, so some stones they form in alkaline urine, some stones do form in acidic urine. If the patient is dehydrated, is consuming less of water, and presence of bacteria, especially in case of triple phosphate stones. One thing more is studied, that deficiency in inhibitors of crystal formation in urine. Now urine also has some inhibitors present which stop the crystal formation. So sometimes there is deficiency of these also there, like you have pyrophosphate, bisphosphonate, so osteopontin, and also glycoprotein known as nephrocalcinin. So these deficiency can also predispose a patient to form renal stones. Now what is the clinical features of the patient? It will always depend upon the size and where the stone gets lodged. Okay, some mostly present with no sign and symptoms till they have renal damage. Now smaller stones, they are hazardous in a way that they pass to the ureter and they produce colic. It is a very worse pain, and these are for the smaller stone. Larger stone, they cannot enter the ureter and mostly remains in the renal pelvis, and whenever these are there, they can also cause hydronephrosis. They will cause stasis of urine in the kidney. That happens later in the stage. Stones can also predispose to superimpose infection. Always whenever there is fluid stasis, there can be infection present. So this was all about the renal stones. Do like, share and subscribe to this channel. If you like these videos, please let me know what all other topics you want me to cover. Thanks for watching this video. Thank you.